Hi, I'm Leah Kearns, the founder here at co-learning platform, specialty platform We Being. And today I've got Mel joining us, who is one of our repeat creators with us. Hey Mel, how's it going?
Hey Leah, I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm really excited to talk more about where this module came from to come through you at this point in time and why it's so important now more than ever. So I really wanted to jump in and get started with understanding, a little bit more about your philosophy, and if we can talk to that a little bit about, I know a lot of your work is centered around why, and not just why once, but why to the point of actually viscerally knowing and feeling it as a state in your body and being like, yeah, oh yeah, like massive aha moments. Can you take me through that a little bit?
I think after writing the last course, I came back to go, what's the next step? What do we need? And the most important thing is for us to be in our life. And, so the question for me is then, well, why aren't we? Why aren't we in our life? And when you backtrack it from there, it's like, because we, and as you come right back, it's because we judge ourselves. It's because we're not present. We're not aware. We don't, we're not conscious of what we think or why we think it. So for me, in my style and in everything I do, it's like, we go back to why, and why often is a layer that we, it's someone else's fault, or this is because this happened to me, or this is the rules of society, or this is what happens. But underneath that, we are still here on earth trying to work ourselves out. And we've not got under that to go, well, hang on, it's about me. What's going on with me? What do I think? What do I feel? And then what happens with me, it's like, well, what we think we feel is actually not what we feel at all. It's just what we were taught to feel. And so when you start looking at these layers and you start peeling them back, you're like, wow, there's a whole unexplored part of life and ourselves and the point of everything that we've not perhaps addressed. And maybe, for me, particularly working with lots of clients, we're not in our lives. So, it's like I have this beautiful, if you died and you had your little interview after you died, you would go through, it would be like, all right, tell me what happened. How'd you go? What was the earth like? And you would go through all the things that happened to you. You would go through all the people in your life who did what to you, all the trauma times, all of that. And you would list it in, like the book, the way we do in our, in our head when we speak to what's going on in our life. Yet, after you finish that, being the little interviewer person, my next question would be, all right, and here's something for everyone to ponder just for a minute. It's like, I want you to go back and repeat your life story, but I don't want you to mention another person or what happened to you. You're only allowed to go through that whole scenario with how you felt. And that's a game changer, because we can't answer that. We can't go, wow, when I was 2, was my dad left. It was like, I felt abandoned or alone or upset or disconnected, or, and then that emotion we repeat in our life. And when we come back to, coming back to self-judgment, and this is why I, came back to this topic being the next one in our series of courses, is because the opposite of self-judgment to me is self-love. And we're here to love ourselves. And, I don't think there's too many of us that can go 100% unconditionally love myself. I've got this. And when we start to pull that apart and we look at, all right, well, how, if I take everyone else away from my life and look at how I treat me and how I know me, I'm like, oh shit, I'm actually not in my life. I'm not aware of, my true self and what I need and what I want. So there's a question, I ask in this course, I asked a lot of people, what do you need and what do you want? And most people, it's like, if you had a magic wand, what would we do with it? And most people's answer is an answer about, I want them to, or if someone, or if I had money, or if, but all of our answer to what we need and want is outside of us. And that's introduces us into the whole concept of, how we got here is because we don't live with us. we live with everyone else. You know, we're born dependent on someone else making it better for us. So from the minute we're born, we learn that, you know, we don't have our answers. We can't soothe ourselves. We can't feed ourselves. We don't look after ourselves. We're completely dependent on someone else for survival. And it's so clever for us to be able to work ourselves out, you know, from a soul perspective, you know. So it sets up this belief system for us that we can't do it. Everyone else has our answers. And then we live that way. And then we, even though we live that way, between the age of 0 and 2, we are still present to us. So I know that I want to be fed, I want to be changed, I need love, I want sleep, I want, you know, so I am still able to communicate that in so many ways. But the minute I become aware, which is around 2, 3, and you will know because you have Ashton and you see the transition, you know, that little kids have. I'm aware that someone else is watching me. I'm aware that my actions are going to lead to someone else doing something next. So it's like the line, we change our behavior because of other people in our life. So we start to become aware of other people when we change our behavior. And with that, when we look at it, you know, little kids are, look at me, look at me, look at me. It means they're not focused on themselves giving them the love or attention or whatever. They're waiting for someone else to do it for them. And the minute we become aware of other people in our lives, then we can get stuff off them. And you combine that with the belief system that everyone else has the answers, it's all over. And we now catapult into this world of, you know, other people and living by other people's rules and trying to get love off people, which introduces us to judged. And, you know, judged really, when you pull that apart, is, you know, I'm going to make a decision based on what I think you think. So from that moment, every decision I make is based on what I think they think, because then they're going to do something and then I'm going to get something. It's this triangle that keeps going around. And the more I am thrown into that world, and we are, the less I'm in my world of being able to answer what do I want and what do I need and how do I give that to myself. I'm not in that. What do I want and what do I need and who can I get it off is what I'm introduced to. And, you know, and as we explore this, you know, we look at, if we really look at our relationship with ourselves, like really look at it, you know, we have a voice in our head that talks to us all day long. And if we're brutally, genuinely honest with ourselves, you know, and spend the rest of the day being aware of your thoughts, because you think things about you like, oh God, I'm an idiot. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Or why did I do? I shouldn't eat that. Or so many things that judged is there in our thought, and it judges us. And that's based on what now we think of ourselves because of what we think someone else will think of ourselves. It's like this layer upon layer. And that, you know, and so a particularly, you know, deep and amazing part of this course is we begin to explore that voice and what that voice says to us, and being really, really present to us, to it. And then what happens is it kind of opens our eyes to, wow, that's not okay what I listen to. It's not okay how I treat myself. It's not okay what I say to myself. If I'm the person in my life that is meant to be able to have the answer to my happiness, I suck at it. And so that's when we then, because we've kind of worked out how we got here, then we start moving into, let's understand it better and let's pull it apart a little bit more. And so, you know, we start looking at, you know, judgment with comparing, like comparing and judged are best friends. They hang out all the time. And, you know, to properly judge us, we compare. So I'm going to compare myself to you, or, you know, to someone else who earns more money or has a bigger car or got a better mark at school or is taller or prettier or smarter, or all of it. And then, you know, I introduce the concept of ladders and the way we work hierarchically on earth particularly. And we compare ourselves every minute of the day, and then we'll compare ourselves to this ladder of where we think we fit, and it's very rarely at the top. And sometimes we don't even make the ladder, and more often than not, it's somewhere in the middle. But then, unbeknownst to us, because we get the feeling of our self-judgment comes from when we think other people will think we're amazing at something, we then try and catapult up this ladder And we enter this competition world of who's better at stuff, and we, you know, unknowingly we put other people down, and then we put us down, and God, it's exhausting. So you can't go to a party if you've got a pimple, or you know, if something bad happens to you, or say you lost your job, you can't tell your friends because, you know, oh, what will they think? And we all go, let's not care what people think. But until we genuinely understand how we got here, we're not going to be able to undo that. We just say it. And that's the thing that, you know, is my style is let's go under the question. And it's like question, understand, and then empower. So when we question, it's not just question, how do we get here? It's like, no, let's really go back to knowing how we got here. Because when we know the truth, and this is the truth of how we got here, and we can then understand it. And the beauty about understanding something from this depth is that we can then choose what happens next in our life. And from this course, it's like, I want people to choose that they want to be in their life, that they're important, that they matter, that the answers they have is in here, that they know themselves. And then we go through in this course challenging them to let me show you the ways you already know yourself, but you don't realize you do. And we put that all together in such a beautiful way. You know, and we look at the way we compare to turn it into a way we can listen to our truth and what feels right, and how to follow the buzz, and how we can then connect with more people instead of being afraid of people in our life, but more people to get our answers, to know that we've always been there and we're always going to be there. And I think even for me, you know, in writing this course, like I teach this, I know this, I've, you know, done this for 23 years, but in writing this course, you know, the last few weeks, I'm so conscious of the voice that talks to me. I'm so conscious of getting up going, oh God, you can't wear that. Why can't I wear? Oh, because you look fat, you look terrible, you know. And then I'm like, whoa, okay, this is not okay. You're shut up. You are not welcome in my life, and I'm going to live life a different way. And already it's changed me, and it's so empowering, you know. And I did a little ad for this, I think. I don't know if you've seen it yet. I sent it through, and I was laughing because it took like 23 goes. And because I just kept, you know, you stumble over things, and then I'm giggling. I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I was like, no, you know, I'm going to put this one out because it's exactly the truth, you know. And our truth becomes, you know, and my favorite catch line in this is a few little analogies that I use that I really hope become catch lines in people's life. But one of them is turn your ladder sideways. And it reminds people that we're all here just learning about ourselves, and we're all here just trying to work ourselves out. And by knowing that, it's like, well, you could be working on, you know, feeling connected, and this person could be working on, you know, feeling empowered, and this one can be working on, you know, trusting. And so when we look at life that way and all our ladders become sideways, I don't need to compete or put me down. If I put someone else down, I'm going to put me down, you know, or I'm going to put me down and then someone else down. It's that whole, if I stop that, peace comes back, and then I can listen. And it's that secret of being able to have that space to listen, to go, what feels right for me? What do I need? How can I get that for me? And now that still might mean connecting with someone else or talking to someone else, but it means I know that saying yes to something, you know, or no to something, or I know that I need it, and I'm genuinely going to allow that to happen in my life for me. So I'm present. It's literally being present. When we understand that, we come back to going, oh, I'm in it for me too. I'm here. Hello. And the voice that you listen to now becomes part of the good part of your life.
Yeah.
Like you're your own friend.
Yeah. I totally can really appreciate that. And I think that one of the key things then that I personally have been working through recently is around, what do I want? You know, what's next? What do I want? What's after what we've been creating for the last, 5.5 years, 6 years in business? What's the version of this that then supports the greater infinite potential of what's available in this? And that includes, you know, for a long time, my vision has always been about everybody else and the we, right? And so it wasn't until the last, probably after my son was born, that I started to even consider again, well, what is the aspect of that that's our family? And then one that even further back, and something that felt almost inaccessible to me was to consider the me in that. So, you know, rather than the we or the us, it's to really look at the me and to really see. It almost felt, what's the word?
Wrong. Like
Wrong.
selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost felt
And
wrong and selfish.
and that's the beauty of the course we did before. It's turning, you know, selfish into self-aware. And when we begin to be self-aware, we begin to think that we're allowed to be in our life, and we're here. We're meant to be here to be in our life and celebrate us. There's a beautiful part in this course that exactly what you're saying. And it's like, I have to say it slowly. It's like when we realize that all of our relationships that have a we in it, it means we're in a relationship, but I'm not actually in it. All my relationships I'm in because I'm going to keep my partner happy, you know, my kids happy, my work colleagues happy, my, you know, parents happy, my friends happy. So I'm not present to me in any of these relationships. I'm just present to what I do for them and what they need. But at the same time, bless this, I'm so absolutely aware that I'm not getting anything. I'm absolutely aware that I feel unloved or overlooked or taken for granted or not appreciated, because I don't even have a voice in there to help people know what I need. And so, but I'm not in it. I'm not allowing that to happen. And, you know, we forget that, you know, we're not even in the we relationships.
It
And
really
it's when,
felt, yeah. I was just going to say, it really felt like that this work that you're presenting in this way is like the progression beyond the we, right? It's the fully self-accepted version of the I, right? So rather than, if we were talking from a metaphysical sense, it would be the I am, right? And so it's like the I, or the me, the us, the we, and then the evolution of that, it's almost like you go round again, and that's one revolution, right? And then the next revolution in that is then the I that is the acknowledged the I that is the resolved I, because it's almost like it's the I that was the child, right? The I that wanted things just for the sake of wanting them, that needed things because that's part of the self-sustaining.
you're interested in everything. It's
Right.
like, wow, look, I'm here. What can I do next?
Right.
And then we just stop being in our life. Just completely stop living for us, and we live for everything else. And it's time that we give, you know, and like section 3, I love, it's like, I give myself permission. And that's the biggest line when you think about it. It's like, I give myself permission to, and it doesn't mean that you aren't, you know, aware of other people. It doesn't turn you into this person that's, you know, not available, was never going to talk to anyone else. But it means that if I am in a relationship with you, but so say it's our anniversary and you forget and I remember, but I'm now so pissed at you because you didn't remember our relationship. So I'm not important to you. Yet our relationship is important. So all it takes is one of us to remember. So if I'm present to me, I don't need to test if you love me, because I love me. So I'm just going to invite you in and go, hey, it's our anniversary. What do you want to do?
Right.
Because so it means that if I'm in my life, I'm going to help all these people know how to love me. If I'm in a relationship with we, meaning I'm in it too, I'm going to explain to you what I like, how it works for me, what I need, if I need space or time or not time, or, you know, to be loved this way, or to, you know, I love, you know, whatever my love language is, I'm going to help you do that. So I get to feel loved too. So it, you know, it means that we connect better. You know, we're not dependent on someone else giving us everything, because we're part of that. You know, we're part of the celebration of us.
Yeah.
And that's the whole different way. It's like, you know, I want to introduce you to you so you can come back to being part of your life, so your life can actually get even better than it's ever been before. And you get to love yourself. The difference between move from self judgment to self-love. Wow. Imagine you have a day where you don't listen to that voice and you go, that's fine. I'm going to have a little sleep in and, do my day the way I want and tell people what I need and celebrate everything together. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's one day. We could do that for the rest of our lives.
I love that, because it still challenges me to even do that for an hour, right? Let alone an entire day. But it's so true that when I am operating and living my life as this human from that place, everything else just seems to work more easily and come together in a way that you're like, whoa, look at that synchronicity. Look at that, it just seems to be flowing and working.
I knew that. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, there's a beautiful song that I, added in, and a few little reflections on that. And it's, waking us up to the fact, I think, is the start, is that we're not actually in our life. And when we are in our life, it's abusive. And the voice we use towards ourselves is not a voice that celebrates us. It absolutely tears us down and judges us and belittles us and makes us not feel good enough. And so because of that, the irony, we don't want to hang out with ourselves because we're not nice to ourselves. And so it's pulling it apart all the way back enough that we can begin again and start from that beautiful, that same place that we were when we were born, that we're, wait, I'm back. I mean, all of stuff. I want things for myself. I'm allowed to experience life. Yes, you can judge me, but you know what? I get that that's where you're at. No, I've got this. This is what I'm learning about me. And when I compare and what I react to, it means that I'm inspired by things, and I get to wake up to what, what excites me, what ignites passion, what gives me a buzz, what makes me tick, what makes me, give myself permission to go, oh, I think this is what I want to do. So many kids come in and go, I really want to do this, but my dad said I shouldn't because there's no jobs in that. And you're like, okay, but let's go back to the feeling, explain the feeling, like, what's this feeling? Because that's we're taught not to listen to ourselves. Oh yeah, I have a feeling, but it doesn't matter. I don't matter. It doesn't matter. And this undoes that and comes back to, wow, okay, there's a feeling. You've got a feeling. Let's go. Pull it apart. Tell me what it means. And
gosh, I'm so excited for this. It's just honestly going to be such, especially at this point in time for people, because there's so much change globally happening. And so at time of recording, this is September 2020, right?
Yeah.
So
and
this
that permission, to want to be part of their life. I think we need to want to be before we try to be. We have to want to be. And I think 2020 has agreed with you. It's like pulled us all into that space to go, what is the point of this? I need to wake up and be here. And I think this is the most powerful, empowering thing, I've ever done in my life. And I'm so excited, to, for people to, get their hands into it and their, their hearts into it, and to really genuinely, that's probably, but to immerse themselves. That's such a beautiful word. Immerse themselves in giving them, it's like a bath, you get into that. You're the only one in it, that you get to go, right, okay, let's go, let's work this out. It's really, there's the, even when I think we were talking a little while ago about gratitude, and it's a little present I'll give everyone right now. And the way that we've all been writing our grateful list is, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the sun that's shining. I'm grateful that, I had a nice dinner. 3 examples. Even in understanding our grateful list, we're not in it. Everything in that grateful list is outside of me. Whereas if I reword that to, I'm grateful that I work really hard to have good relationships with my family, and you can individualize that as much as you want. I'm grateful that I took the time to notice the sun, to walk in the sun or sit in the sun or appreciate the sun. I'm grateful that I either bought yummy dinner, cooked yummy dinner, or let someone else cook yummy dinner, but I'm grateful that so the grateful list now needs to go, I'm grateful that and then whatever, because you're now in it, which means you're now in your life. And that's the point of why we're here, to be in our life. And so it's just a tiny little example of really simple ways that we turn this around, to give ourselves permission, but to wake us up to, oh, wait, we're already in it. We just need to reword that thinking and the way we speak to ourselves a little bit, and we get to celebrate ourselves so much more.
It's that true acknowledgement of self. Yeah, for sure. I love it. I love it so much. And I'm so excited that we're going to be helping you to launch this as well. So if this sounds like your jam, if you sounds like you'd really like to get to this point in your life where you're able to be this present to yourself, to your needs, to your wants, to your desires, to what it is that you're here to experience, and to have that without this attachment of judgment, without feeling like any move that you make might be questioned, then please look for Mel's link to buy her course, and definitely check it out, because I honestly feel like this is a game changer, this one. And
yeah, game changer is good. Game changer.
Yeah.
It's
it
like,
is.
We go into the game of life, which is judging, comparing where we fit, and whose way is the right way. It changes the game to go, I'm not playing that anymore. I'm not playing the blame cards. I'm here for me. Game changer. I'm on the board. That's the thing.
I love
what piece do you want to be? Get on the board.
You choose the hat or the cat.
Yeah.
And collect 200 as you pass go. For sure.
Yeah.
So thanks so much, Mel, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And for all of you.
Before you go, I just want to say something, is that, this is the second course I wrote, and, the first one was the most amazing experience for me with you. And, the girls, there's always a group of women that get together and work together when we do a course. And, each time it's just so empowering and so, amazing, and we connect so well, and it's such a safe place to explore different topics. And we find that there was one night, I think we went away and we came back and we all wrote on the same topic, because we're just so connected in this energy. And so thank you. What you've created is absolutely unbelievable, and I'm so honored and blessed to be part of it. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm so excited to make more courses, and I have no idea what the next one will be, but I'm sure it will come. But it's just, and if anyone wants to, to join this, it's perfect. It's a really empowering place to be. So, come be part of our team. It's a great team. It's a great team.
I love us. I love our team. I love the we. I love the eyes in the we. And, I'm really so appreciative that you've said that and that you've shared that with me. So thank you so much. And look, if this does speak to you too, we are open to accepting and welcoming new creators to come be a part of this with us, and to share in the joy and the celebration of what it is to truly create something that comes through you as this
magical experience. Just you just see it come through and you go, I'm going to write on this. And then you're like over here writing all this stuff, and then you read it and you're like, oh wow, that's better. That's better than what I would have said.
Right. Oh, it's so true. It's so true. I just love that process and that part of it. And look, if that is speaking to you, please get in touch and take a look at our website. You can find all the details over there, as course creator is what you'd be looking for. And once again, Mel, thank you so much for being here with us. It truly is just my absolute pleasure to be bringing this module to life into the world with you.
I'm so excited for this. This will help people a lot, and I'm so honored to be able to produce it with you guys and send it out to the world, and wish it well, and blow it a kiss and let it go do its thing and change some people's lives. That's really important.
Yes.
Such a good time.
Yes, I love that. And thank you all again for joining us for another wonderful creator interview. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. I'm Leah Kearns, the founder of co-learning platform We Being, and I'll talk to you again soon.